More coffee? Want to get to the nursery this afternoon and pick up those rose bushes that died this winter.
No more for me, please. I think we'll have a sale on round steak this week. No one else is.
Want some more coffee?
No, I had enough.
Okay.
By the way, I'll be working late tonight. Jim is still sick.
Okay.
You have that parents' meeting tonight, don't you? What are we going to do about supper?
Oh, I think we have some leftover casserole. Oh, dear, I must get going.
I'll go get Scotty up now.
Good. I guess I have to go to work now anyway.
Dad, it's parents' night tonight. Are you going to be coming?
I'll try to. Oh, I think I better be leaving now. See you later, son.
Good morning. These are your appointments for today. At 9 o'clock, Mr. Madison will be in. There's a staff meeting at 10, and at 11, Mr. Roberts will be in to see you.
Getting ready for the meeting tonight?
I still have some organizing to do.
I put most of my materials together yesterday.
I know, I saw them. They look great. Your unit on environmental education has really worked out well.
And how's your project?
Well, our World of Work activities are a part of the career education program.
World of Work? Do you think that would work for me? I mean, I really need something to keep my kids fired up.
Well, Jim, the response that I've had from the children and the parents is more than I ever imagined. Why don't you come down to our room and I'll show you what we've been doing.
Laura Reddy's mother told me she thought it was a good thing that we were organizing their learning around the world of work. Instead of making learning the collection of information about the subject areas like math and science, we study people in different occupations, and we relate the ideas and skills of the subject areas to the lives of people. The kids learn almost the same thing as in a traditional classroom, but with people as their organizing center, they're learning why knowledge is so important to them. They're relating it to life outside the classroom, in the community, and in business and industry. When I look back at all the things we've studied and made in the career education program,
and remember the work that went into them, I'm convinced that school is much more real to them this way, much more a part of life. There are so many different jobs today. You can bet that when these kids are older, they'll be far better prepared to choose the occupation that suits them best, more so than their older brothers and sisters were.
You must have done a lot of planning with this program.
yes, but the children did a lot of work with me.
Well, did you have trouble getting outside people to come in and speak to the class?
You'd be surprised. It really wasn't as hard as you might think. And I used films quite a bit. But you know, one of the most successful activities we've had was centered around someone right here in the school.
Who's that?
Our school secretary, Miss Peters. I thought of all the skills she has, all the different skills, and all the rapport she has with the children. I decided that contact with her would be a positive beginning. The kids would have a wholesome attitude about other meetings with working adults. At first, I tried to find out what their contacts had been with secretaries.
And I told them a few of my experiences with secretarial work before teaching. Then we set up a role-playing situation, and many of the children had the opportunity to try out questions with me.
Were they your questions or the kids' questions?
Well, I had some questions in mind, but I thought I'd better listen to find out what they were really interested in. I think this introductory lesson was even more beneficial for me than the children, because I came away from it knowing where the children stood. I began building out from there. This secretary theme merged with lessons in all the language arts: reading, writing, speaking, and spelling.
Dear Mr. Jones, thank you for sending our book. Oh, is this Miss Williams?
All right, class. Do any of these words look familiar to you? Raise your hand if you know them. John, can you read one of the words for us? Why did you select telephone?
Because when my mother and father said not to say who is it.
Now, class, let's look at the word typewriter. What is a typewriter used for?
Typing records, typing letters, typing notes.
Good.
I tried to strengthen and increase their working vocabulary by structuring vocabulary building into their weekly spelling lesson. We made up lists of words that came up in our discussions. Some were the same as those in our spelling books. Words like note and paper, but others were new, like dictation. Many of these words were longer and more difficult than the ones they're expected to learn. The children noticed, but they didn't seem to mind. Interviewing is the first basic skill of the program. I worked on it with the kids for quite a while, but every bit of it was worth it. Because career education emphasizes decision-making, it doesn't just teach kids to answer questions, it teaches them to want to ask questions and to ask them well. From the mock interviews with the children role-playing interviewers and secretaries, the class planned a list of questions which we would ask Miss Peters. The day before the interview, Miss Peters conducted a tour of her office. She demonstrated the various office machines. Showed the children the different types of letters and forms used in her work, and even showed them snapshots of and talked about her former secretarial job downtown. The next day, Scotty Nelson was the interviewer for the class.
Miss Peters, are you happy with this job?
Pretty much. The hours I have to work aren't quite as nice. I have to be here from 7:30 until 4:30. But it's more relaxed here.
You mean it's...
I don't have to hurry as much. And besides that, the kids here are a lot more fun to work with than the people I worked for downtown.
The secretaries study work beautifully. Their contact with Miss Peters inspired them to continue their interest in communication skills, and the development in the interviewing skills was most gratifying.
Mrs. Hafner, could we please come in now?
Yes, I think it's time. I plan to do a mini-unit on this school as a work community. I'm going to study the principal, the teachers, the social worker, everybody, you name it. Why, we have a whole world of work right under our own roof.
Well, you certainly have a lot of visible products from this study. I'll bet the parents appreciated all these letters.
At first, I was a little worried they would misinterpret our world of work theme. I was a little afraid that they would see only the part where we gathered occupational information. But the children were able to express themselves in a way that showed their parents they were learning the basic skills. They were communicating with a wide range of ideas and people. The kids came through, and their activities revealed the life-centered approach.
You know, we're going to have to do something to tie our projects together. Say, why don't you come to the Learning Center when the soil conservation specialist explains his work?
That sounds interesting. Tell me how I might find out more about him. He seems like a likely subject for an interview.
Say, it's getting pretty late. I'd better get back to my class. You know, people may be the way to do it. She really has a people-centered program. Mrs. Hafner, I really think you've got something here. This afternoon in science, instead of just talking about muscles and bones, we related it to the school nurse's job. And even the boys were interested.
Oh, that's great. I knew you'd like the program. Oh, here they come.
Well, I'd better be going. And thank you.
Hey, I'll go over and see his teacher. Look at that. Hello, Mrs. Hafner.
Hello.
I'm Mr. Nelson, Scotty's father.
Glad to see you. Scotty still has a little trouble with talking at the wrong time, but he's getting much better. On the form, you say you're a butcher. You know, this semester, our program uses people from the working community to teach the kids all about the world of work. You know, I think you would be a likely subject for an interview with the children. Would you be interested?
Oh, I think I could be interested.